In February of 1985, a pipe bomb exploded outside a business owned by the mayor of the city of Weslaco, Hector Farias. Upon investigation, it is discovered that a UFO Doomsday Cult called Outer Dimensional Forces is behind the explosion. A closed-circuit camera facing a backyard captures the ghost of a little girl playing by an old abandoned shed at night. The bloody spirit of a fallen Border Patrol agent confronts a group of undocumented immigrants at night near the San Diego-Tijuana International Mexican Border. These stories and more next here on Al Lunacy's Paranormal Special. Deep in the far south, down in the furthest tip of Texas, lies the city of Weslaco, Texas. Weslaco is part of an area known as the Rio Grande Valley. This region is known for its warm weather, exotic birds, citrus orchards, and its large volume of palm trees. What very few know is that the valley has been home to a UFO Doomsday Cult since the 1960s. Orville T. Nodrog was the leader of this group, calling themselves Outer Dimensional Forces. They are based in a high-fence compound that lies on a 2.5-acre tract surrounded by high trees. The group believes the end days are near, and you can continue living as you are under your negative birthright and be limited to a low level of knowledge, or you can overcome this by living under the positive birthright. Only then will you be given the opportunity of survival before God directs spaceships to tilt the axis of the earth so that it floods once more. This survival is by means of an ark, a spaceship that they claim to be in possession of. The group had a long feuding history with the city of Weslaco. This ranged from back taxes being owed, traffic citation confrontations, and threats being made to city officials ever since the city took away some of the group's land to build a highway. Matters escalated when a pipe bomb exploded outside a business owned by the mayor of the city of Weslaco, Hector Farias, in February of 1985. Upon investigation, it was discovered that Mark Lingenfelter, a member of Outer Dimensional Forces, and 2 other members were behind the explosion. This got the attention of the feds that raided the compound in July of 1985. Local news reported that rifles, handguns, and anti-government literature was found and seized, but no spaceship of any sort was ever found, as the group claimed to have. Throughout the years, the group members have remained quiet and recluse, but are still active in recruitment. As for the group's leader, Orville T. Nodrog, he hasn't been seen for years, but would be about 116 years old if alive today. Most believe he is buried somewhere within the property. Our next story occurred just a couple of miles north of the ODF compound. This area is a rural part of Weslaco, and there is many old houses in the area. In this area, in a backyard behind a shed, lies an old abandoned house where an older couple once lived. As you can see here, it looks like it has been abandoned for years. On 12/15 of 2018, a closed-circuit camera facing the backyard of a neighbor caught the following apparition. It appears to be the ghost of a little girl slowly walking across in the night. Here is the footage again, but slower and zoomed in. Credit goes to Able 3E for the footage. There was no further explanation as what this could be. We can only guess that a little girl might have lived there in the past and her residual energy still remains. Good evening. I hope that you are enjoying this year's paranormal special. I'd like to remind you all that you are free to submit your own videos. We do this once a year. So before we get to the next story, I would like to update you on a story we did last year. Last year's story of my good friend David was the first time I had ever caught an orb in the BBQ Backshack area camera, which was the same day and time of his passing on October 20th, 2022. During this time, there had been a COVID outbreak and his family wasn't able to have a funeral service for him until a few weeks later. On November 15th, 2022, the camera caught an orb in the area once again. This time it just ascended up to the sky, and that was the last time I have seen this to this day. We will let you know if there is any further updates. Our last story takes us to the San Diego-Tijuana Mexican border, in the time when I was a young Border Patrol agent assigned to Brownfield Station, patrolling in the rugged terrain of Otay Mountain. Usually Border Patrol Academy classmates are assigned different stations, but my Border Patrol Academy class was unique in that we were all assigned the same station, Brownfield, so we all remained close to each other. Tragedy struck early for us, as a classmate of mine, Luis Santiago, fell off a cliff and to his death while attempting to apprehend a group of undocumented immigrants in the Otay Lakes Dam area. Santiago was buried with full honors, and as tough as it was for us all, we had to carry on doing our job. Just a few months after, I was working transport duties during an evening shift and was called to the Otay Dam area for a pickup. As the agents walked the undocumented immigrants to the van, they all looked spooked. They all had this blank look. Then one of the illegal aliens told us in Spanish that they were told to turn themselves in by a bloody Border Patrol agent at the edge of the cliff by the dam area. I immediately got chills all over my body. They were talking about Santiago. I loaded them up quickly and got out of the area, but called the helo just in case. The helo Foxtrot reported nothing could be found in the area. Sightings of Santiago continued for some time until they abruptly stopped. I'll end this with a message from another classmate of mine, Rocky Elmore.
Just like to say to Agent Santiago, if he could hear that his classmates have not forgotten him. We think about him every day, have a nice memorial here for him, and that plays through my mind every day of my life, what happened to him.
And that concludes this year's paranormal special. We hope that you enjoyed it, and remember to take care of yourself and each other.